Hi, I'm Irene Rubon Keller, licensed psychotherapist and author of the book Foodaholic: The 7 Stages to Permanent Weight Loss. Today we're going to be talking about how to lose weight without leaving your house. So one of the things that I teach people to do and that I write about in my book is how to control your environment. So what you have in your house as far as easy to eat foods is very important as far as how successful you're going to be long-term at losing weight, and more importantly, keeping it off. So the example that I often use is I went over to my dad's house, this is quite some time ago, and I opened the refrigerator. Now, I don't care how old you are, but when you go over to your folks' house, don't you always go and open the refrigerator? This is what I do anyway. So typically when I would go to my dad's house and open the refrigerator, there would be a lot of high-calorie, high-fat foods that were grabbable, but not good for weight control. And my dad has battled with his weight off and on for his whole life. So this particular time when I went over to my dad's, I opened the refrigerator and what I saw was completely different. And what I realized was that my dad was on Weight Watchers at the time. I didn't know that. But I opened the refrigerator and what he had right there at eye level were small bowls of cherry tomatoes. He had those little miniature carrots that you can just eat, you know, ready to go. He had celery cut up. He had jicama cut up. If you don't know jicama, it's an excellent vegetable that's very sweet and nice treat, you know, low cal. So we had jicama and he had mushrooms cut up, all in little bowls ready to just grab. So I asked him, I'm like, well, how's it going? And he'd already lost 20 pounds. And he said, you know, having those foods right there at eye level ready to grab was a lifesaver for him. Because he would come home and he would be starving. And there would be the perfect food that he could just grab. Well, let's say he was cooking his healthy dinner, but he needed something in between. You know, often when I work with people, they say, what can I eat while that's cooking? They're hungry enough that even though they're making something healthy, it's going to take, let's say, a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe longer to cook. So what can I have right now because I need something now? And if what you have is not healthy or high calorie, you're going to end up eating that and eating your dinner and end up with way too many calories for the day. So if you can control your environment, in other words, what you bring into your house and how many calories you bring into your house, and you can be aware of what you're doing and plan ahead a little bit when you go to the market, you can be very successful controlling your home environment. So one of the things that I recommend you do is when you go to the market, if you buy anything in a package, so let's say you're watching your weight and you're going to buy, let's say, the Weight Watcher Fudgesicles, okay? And there are 4 in a package and they're 125 calories a piece. So what I recommend you do is add up the calories for the entire box. Because oftentimes we don't intend to do this, but we end up eating the entire box. So if you think ahead and you go, okay, if I eat the entire box of these Fudgesicles, the damage will not be too bad calorically. On the other hand, if you go to the market and let's say you're looking at a bag of Oreos, for example, Oreos are 50 calories a piece. You look at a huge bag of Oreos and you say to yourself, okay, I'll handle these this time. I'm only going to eat 1 or 2. But oftentimes what happens is that we intend to eat 1 or 2, but we end up eating the whole bag or a whole lot more than we intended to eat. So while you're at the market, before you buy anything, before you bring it into your environment, add up how many calories are in the entire bag of Oreos. I've never done that with Oreos, but I do think there's at least 1,000 to 2,000 calories in the entire bag of Oreos. I'm talking about the rather large bag of Oreos. So add up the calories in all of the foods that you're bringing home before you bring them home and see if you can somehow work with that. So bringing home lower calorie fruits and vegetables that you have prepared, ready to go is key. And then if you are going to bring home something as a treat, like chocolate or Fudgesicles or something like that, do it in a controlled way. You know, go and get 1 Hershey bar as opposed to buying the king size and telling yourself, oh, I'm only going to have a little bit. Maybe you will, but there also might be times when you won't be able to control yourself around the Hershey bar and end up eating the whole thing. So be honest with yourself, especially when you go to the market, when you're buying things to bring into your environment. Keep your environment safe. and we'll be talking more next time about how to control your weight when you're out in the world. So my book is Foodaholic, The 7 Stages to Permanent Weight Loss. It's available at foodaholic.net. It's also available on the web on Amazon.com.